FBI, but he didn't return all of them. He kept some, and it's speculated the ones he did keep, because the FBI obviously went to a great lengths to get them back, were fairly sensitive, important documents that he stole. You can imagine he stole them for a reason, right?
Yeah, so the fear, and I think that this is a pretty reasonable fear to have if you are the FBI or if you are like, working inside one of these federal agencies, given Trump's track record of like operating out of Mar-a-Lago and what that presents as a matter of like a security concern, as a matter of national security, because Mar-a-Lago is a country club. They are not vetting every single person that is within proximity of Donald Trump. And Donald Trump literally throughout his presidency got into trouble for conducting business, presidential business in Mar-a-Lago around foreign nationals. So that was a serious problem for them.
There was even incidents of like random people, or there was like a Chinese spy, remember that, who got into Mar-a-Lago and got super close to Trump.
Also Maria Butina famously, a Russian spy, Maria Butina famously went all the way up as well.
So there
didn't even have to use Mar-a-Lago, just use the regular lobbying arm of the NRA. But so my point was that it's understandable that they would be worried that this kind of classified material is still in the possession of the former president. Normally, as a matter of courtesy, presidents basically hand off declassification to the next president that comes in. The new president basically says you can still have like some level of you can still stay in some level of like in the know as a former president, which Biden unceremoniously did not offer to Donald Trump, citing national security concerns. So that's another reason why like Trump cannot have possession of these classified documents. But like I said, I hope that there is more to it than just like mismanaged files, right?
Unfortunately, I think that's it. I don't think anything else is going to come of this.
Well, then Republicans are going to make mincemeat out of this.
Well, what are they going to do? Because they got to make up their mind. Is this like a Civil War grab, or is this just like he has these documents ever since Watergate? We passed a law saying that every presidential document has to be saved and filed with the National Archive by law, okay? And so Trump, while he was in the White House, was tearing up documents. He was even flushing documents. Like, what the fuck? And now he's stealing documents. They begged him to return it. And after exhausting all civil options, Trump, that was basically the only way left to get the documents, is to go to fucking Mar-a-Lago and take them. From what I can tell, I think that's it, dude.
I hope that there is more to it than that, and it like somehow links back to January 6th, because there's a secondary investigation on Donald Trump's involvement that the January 6th committee is looking at. They also seized the phone of a congressperson from Pennsylvania, including 5 additional people from the state legislature, I believe, in Pennsylvania, with direct links to January 6th, and they were communicating with Donald Trump. And the congressperson's phone that was seized, the Pennsylvania Republican Representative Scott Perry, he was talking with the Trump White House in the months leading up to January 6th about the insurrection. And he's like a Freedom Caucus guy. He's like a Tea Party guy. So, big libertarian hours here.
They didn't take computers or phones or anything from Trump, did they? I don't think so.
No, they only took his phone one day after the raid. So I'm hoping that like there is.
The FBI did take Trump's phone?
No, they took his phone.
That's what I'm saying. They didn't take any electronics from Trump.
No, they did not. They did not. And Trump, of course, pled the fifth in a testimony yesterday.
Which is great.
Yeah.
As he once famously said,
multiple.
I'll pull up. He says, who would take the fifth other than a criminal?
I mean, he was right.
Right, yeah. But
he's morally consistent on that one.
He's right on the nose with this one. Here, check this out. Trump takes it. God, he looks like shit here, bro. What the fuck is that? Looks like a cadaver, like a reanimated
coming after
corpse.
my king. He's not looking his best self.
That's like an open casket funeral showing. Fuck me.
Yeah, it sucks. Look how beautiful he was in 2016.
Yeah, he was. Well, he doesn't have his makeup on. So
yeah, he'll come back again, stronger than ever before.
Yeah, check this out, guys.
You see, the mob takes it. If you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment?
Former President Trump indeed pled the Fifth. He refused to answer questions from the AG and indeed invoked his Fifth Amendment rights.
Taking the Fifth, I think it's disgraceful. You see,
Ladies
the mob
and
takes the
gentlemen,
Fifth. We got it. If you
What a fucking loser. Actually, you know what? He's not the loser. The people that like him are losers. I mean, you
People
are
that
such
like
a
him are,
sucker.
yeah.
Such a sucker, dude. This man's a con artist. Like, how much more clear does it need to be?
I did a whole, like, someone found a bunch of hogs on TikTok talking about, like, how, you know, they're terrified of, like, the FBI coming after them now, and they're terrified of the 87,000 new IRS agents.
Yeah.
And they think, like, these IRS agents are going to come in with guns and, like, you know, kill them or something because they're conservative, which is awesome. I love that they, like, live in a state of panic all the time. You know, the attitude from the most radicalized Trump supporters is that, like, this is civil war, folks. It's like, it's happening. One of my favorite takes on it was, again, from, like, on the Donald, there was, like, some fucking random guy who was talking about how, like, get your guns ready, civil war is coming, you know, I'm ready for this, I can't wait for this or whatever. And then he self-doxed and said, I'm currently under trial. I'm under, my trial date for January 6th is coming up in a month.
Damn.
And it's like, bro, why did you willingly hand over that information to, like, random people on the internet on a public fucking forum?
I'm ready for war right when I get out of prison for insurrection.
And two, yeah, like, what? Like, it's wild. He's like, he just wants to do more of the thing that he's currently about to go to jail for.
He says, when you let me out, I will do the same thing I got arrested for.
Yeah,
Guarantee
it's like the Alex Jones trial. You know what I mean? Like, is the Alex Jones trial like defaming the judge on a defamation trial?
It's so fucking good. This
Conservatives
woman
can't
is
stop.
a demon, a pedophile. Yeah,
But
it's
this
so
is
good.
important. A lot of people say, Hassan, why are they doing this? Like, why are they so stupid? And it's not just idiocy that guides them to be this way. I think the secondary, the secondary reasoning, or maybe the primary reasoning, other than how stupid they are, because of course they're stupid, is the entitlement. Conservatives love to act like the police force and the FBI and these institutions are totally colorblind and actually do not oppress the marginalized communities, right? Until they are treated like someone who is not above the law, in which case they immediately give the game away. That's why they're freaking out right now.
It's the greatest crime ever perpetrated.
Yeah, the very same people that were defending the police on a no-knock warrant on Breonna Taylor's house.
Yeah.
The very same people turned around and said, like, this is worse than anything anyone's ever done. This is
civil war.
This is civil war.
Before they even knew why the FBI did it, which is so great.
This is
By the
civil
way,
war. This is unacceptable. This is so cruel and so unusual and so humiliating. It's like, what do you mean?
You don't even know what happened, why it happened. But speaking of Breonna Taylor, the developments in that has been absolutely chilling, dude. Like, it's even worse. So they arrested the cops, finally. And the details that came out was that, like, they straight up fabricated the warrant because there was some conspiracy to try to get black people to move out of this apartment building because there was, like, a new developer that wanted to move in. I mean, it's so fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, it's not any different than anything I've ever advocated for, especially considering the role that police play as an arm of capital. They are still very much protecting and serving the interests of capital.
Well, so anyway, let's get back on the timeline. So he gets raided, it's big news, and then he kind of actually breaks the news with this Truth Social post. Statement by Donald Trump, 45th President of the United States.
I love it.
These are dark times for our nation. Our beautiful home, Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida, is currently under siege, raided, and occupied by a large group of FBI agents. Nothing like this has ever happened to a president of the United States before. That's true. But again, what they draw from that is not that Donald Trump is so corrupt that this has now happened to anyone else. It's that the whole institution of the FBI is so corrupt. It's interesting how they do that. After working and cooperating with the relevant government agencies, this unannounced raid on my home was not necessarily appropriate. It is prosecutorial misconduct, the weaponization of the justice system, and an attack by radical left Democrats who desperately don't want me to run for president in 2024, especially based on recent polls who will likewise do anything to stop Republican and conservatives in the upcoming midterm election. Such an assault could only take place in broken third world countries.
Yeah, no, this would never
That's such
happen
a weird
anywhere else.
point. I see that echoed a lot, and I'm like, isn't it good that a democracy holds its leaders to account? Like, in a third world, this would never happen because
Yeah, no,
would
he's
never hold.
basically saying that the weaponization of the federal agencies against a prior political opponent is third world country shit, which, I mean, as an American president, he should know that is something that the American government oftentimes plays a role in like, you know, Latin American countries and whatnot, all around the third world in developing nations, as a matter of fact. But you're right. This is, no matter how nerdy it is, even if it's like mismanagement of classified information, would still be technically some level of genuine accountability. And it's like the bare minimum.
yeah.
I just hate that it's, I wish that it was, I mean, all former presidents are crooks and awful for the most part. So it is kind of sad that this is how we finally like bring about some level of accountability to a former president. You know what I mean? Which is why I'm still holding out hope that the FBI was not so silly to just simply conduct this raid for
Documents.
some documents that
Yeah,
were mismanaged.
I'm holding out hope, but at this point, every single inquiry into him has been an utter nothing burger / disappointment, and I'm sure this will be no different. Anyways,
Yeah, because that does have a galvanizing factor. Like that does end up, you know, bringing more support within
dude,
the base.
the FBI has only ever, since the Hillary Clinton Benghazi email investigation era, has only ever aided conservatives.
100%, you are
Ever.
correct.
And this
Comey-
is another thing.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct on that. A lot of people say like Russia, except like James Comey's second investigation 11 days out of the election, which
Insane.
led to nothing, by the way. It was just a
Absolutely.
repeat of the prior investigation. That unironically had a much larger impact on the 2016 election
Yeah.
than anything else.
Probably changed I mean, there's a good chance it changed that.
Yeah, because that was won by margins. And I do think that, like, obviously outside of like Hillary Clinton's campaign and its like incompetence and the DNC's incompetence and disdain for its for its voter base,
But
the
I mean,
electoral college,
dude,
like outside of all of those factors, Jim Comey 100% played a larger role than Russia did.
I mean, the optics of the FBI announcing publicly they're opening an investigation into a candidate 11 days out. I mean, that's basically like a plant. I mean, that's just like planned propaganda. It's so unusual to do that too. They even have a policy not to
Yeah, the 90-day,
influence elections like that.
90 days out from a trial.
So why the fuck is Comey an asset? I mean, it's just so weird. And then Trump turned on him, of course, too, and fired him. But why would he do that? How could he be so incompetent? Or I don't know. It's just hard to imagine. But the FBI has only ever aided them, and in my opinion, this is what's going to happen as a result of this as well. Because I don't think anything's going to come out of it, and it's just going to turn into this insane fundraising, which you already see happening immediately.
Yeah, it does make me happy to see them cry, though.
It is. It's great.
It makes me
Feels-
so happy.
yeah.
So for that reason, like, I don't even give a shit if this is like, allowing Donald Trump to like whip up support
I don't care at all.
at a time when he was like kind of falling off. Ron DeSantis was like on the rise. You know what I mean?
All I
W-gang.
want to see is Trump versus DeSantis. I'm living for that.
I don't think that'll happen.
What?
I don't think that'll happen. They're too like
What?
they're too
DeSantis is definitely fine for the nominee.
yeah, I know, but I
Yeah.
think Ron DeSantis right now. Well, first of all, Ron DeSantis is like literally a carbon copy of Trump, or tries to.
Yeah, but he's not. He's more polished. He's more. He's less.
Yes,
yeah.
which is why I think the Republican establishment probably like him more because
Do you
he's
think
like more
Trump?
controllable.
Do you think Trump doesn't have a chance at the nominee?
No, I think Trump will be the nominee unless he like.
There's got to be a clash, and Trump is going to like eviscerate DeSantis. I don't know, man. I see
We'll
fireworks.
see. I think like they'll probably. I think there's more like internal collusion within the Republican ranks, especially now that they have completely become the Trump party.
It's probably true, but
Because like remember 2016, like the primaries on that front were a joke. I mean,
Right.
Trump just ripped through all of them.
Yeah.
Like, probably destroyed their political careers to a degree where they all have to concede. And you know, despite Trump saying, like, Ted Cruz, your wife is ugly, Ted Cruz was, like, fucking on the phones.
Oh,
You
he
know,
loves
smiling and dialing
yeah.
for Donald Trump.
I saw a comic of Trump and Ted Cruz meeting, and Trump's like, "Hey, Ted, how's your ugly wife?" Something. Great, Mr. President.
We like
Yeah.
to troll.
I'm queued up for 3 and 4.
Yeah,
at the
we'll
moment,
see. I don't know, but
challenges.
Trump is so off the hinges that you never know. But you know,
I
as
hate
you
to make
ca-
it burn out, so I break.
by my estimate, it ends up not really being a big deal. And the moment it happens, right, there's a complete and utter conservative meltdown. It's civil war. It's civil war. They're ready. They have their arms. They're ready to go. So I've got
Rubicon has been crossed.
I've got first of all some of my favorite triggered snowflake tweets. Tim Pool, of course. What is the Rubicon?
Reference to ancient Rome. Rubicon was a river
Fun game.
that
and no
Julius Caesar
microtransactions.
crossed.
And it induces
Or was it
dopamine
river, or is that the
nostalgia.
name of the?
The shallow river, yeah.
Yeah, it is the river, right?
I mean,
But it just
if ain't
means like
broke, don't fix it.
it's a turning point, essentially.
Oh yeah, dude, Crowder. I can't wait. He goes, "You'll remember this day." He starts crying. "You'll remember this day for the rest of your life. This is the day everything changes." Anyway, Marjorie is ready to defund the FBI, which
What, you
They're
don't want
such
to buy another
babies.
battle
Like,
pass?
this is
You
not.
don't want a battle
It's
pass?
not
What's
like they
wrong with
didn't
you?
even kill Donald Trump's dogs or anything. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like, that's
right.
like bare minimum of police shit.
well, they're talking like
They didn't flashbang like Barron. You know what I mean? They didn't. None of that happened.
Right.
And these motherfuckers are acting like it's the worst thing that has ever happened in the
Dude.
history of America.
you're right. If you think that they went in and assassinated Trump or something, that's basically the reaction you would expect from that. The Rubicon has been
That's
crossed.
fair.
Marjorie Taylor
But the
Gross,
Infinite Forge does look
Titan
pretty
Gross
tight.
with the upside down flags. Shout out.
I guess someone
Queen.
actually remade the entire
But like I said, this is an
first,
admission.
Nazi
It's like
zombies
these
map.
agencies, they're basically saying these agencies
Halo
are supposed to
Infinite.
work for
Looks
us.
pretty
Right.
slick.
It's that same
I
level of
actually wanna give it a
entitlement
try.
that caused them to like live stream themselves breaking into the fucking halls of Congress.
Right.
It's that same level of entitlement that caused them to say, I can't believe we're political prisoners of the American federal government for what? Doing an insurrection?
The smallest enforcement.
Yeah.
Kevin McCarthy, of course, the minority leader. He says, Attorney General Garland, preserve your documents and clear your calendar. Shut up, bitch, like he didn't already.
And these guys are all like big, bold badasses, but ultimately all they were saying on Fox News was just go out and vote. Go out and vote.
Vote hard, bitches, and
Yeah.
buy my mug.
And at least Steven Crowder was like trying to sell his fucking mug club and being like, oh, there's a civil war upon us, and we gotta ready our troops. You
Gotta
know.
buy my mug.
But of course,
Find out.
yeah, you gotta purchase my
did that.
T-shirt that
Look
says "Fight Like Hell."
Yeah,
That's how you're gonna show everyone how angry you are by buying my Indonesian T-shirts.
So fucking stupid, bro.
Kevin McCarthy says, I've seen enough. The Department of Justice has reached an intolerable state of weaponized politicalization. When Republicans take back the House, we will conduct immediate oversight of this department. Follow the facts and leave no stone unturned. Attorney General Garland, preserve your documents and clear your calendar. Shut
Yeah,
up.
they're turning into libs. It's awesome. Like the slight bit of pushback, and they turn into like liberals. Like this is some shit Chris Murphy would type. You know what I mean? I love that. I love that they're just saying stuff like this, and basically urging everyone to vote harder, vote harder. And
Good
I don't know.
shit.
I don't know if that's gonna. I don't know if this is gonna cut it. I don't know if
Good
this is
luck,
going to
gents.
actually
Hope
get
see
people
you
to go out
next
and
one.
vote in the midterms.
Well-
Because like, how do you square that hole? You know?
Well, the thing is, I don't know that it's necessarily going to help Trump, though, because also it's not great optics that the president got raided by the FBI, too. And there's going to be a lot of people that are like, you know, I'm sick of this fucking guy. There's always something going on. And the FBI wouldn't be raiding his house if he didn't do some shit. So I don't think it's an automatic W for him. I mean, it's definitely going to help raise money, but I don't know if it's going to help get more votes. Andrew Yang, friend of the show,
Fuck
he
Andrew Yang.
has really lost his way, man. I can't say that I support him. This whole forward party shit is just a little bit much
I was
for me.
so right on Andrew Yang being a total fucking loser cuck with no like consistent and genuine interest in like bettering the lives of Americans. And I was so goddamn right on Tulsi Gabbard. Everyone can suck me.
Tulsi ended up the worst. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a